Hi, Sharon Richards from the Green Desk. And this week I'm going to talk about an interesting definition that I kind of found hilarious when I looked it up. I mean, I've been going to like Wikipedia, Oxford Dictionary, getting these definitions and kind of winging it, like I always do. But vintage is a word that is most applied to wine. What's this vintage? 62 was a good year for that. That was a good vintage. We hear that all the time. And then I went to eBay and somebody was asking the difference between antiques and vintage. And vintage, properly, is something that has gone out of style and come back in style again. For example, mid-century modern is considered vintage. Also things from the 1970s, like, the Green Desk, the covering anyway, it's actually technically an antique. Well, really an antique. It's just that it was covered in a vintage way. In any case, so vintage applies to anything in that sense that has become popular and collectible once again. So, but I had to laugh because the eBay definition, or someone, kind of having a descriptive challenge, they said, yeah, that's the proper definition, but anything apparently on eBay that was purchased 24 hours ago is worn and dirty, seems to be vintage. So I just had to giggle at that a little bit. So, and that's kind of why I'm going through these definitions, because if you do buy online and you're looking for vintage or collectibles or antiques, provenance is everything, and I've talked about that before. So be careful. Yeah, if it's just a dirty looking thing and, it doesn't appear to be actual vintage, then, yeah, something that was made 24 hours ago, whatever. And there's a lot of thinking out there on stuff like that. Maybe that's a good topic to go into, is things, how are they're falsified and sold as something that they're not meant to be. But yeah, vintage. That is the strict definition. So when you're out there looking for vintage collectibles or antiques, you are now armed with dates and time periods to go with. And of course, cost. Probably one of the most telling factors. All right, Sharon Richards from the Green Desk. We'll see you next week with another definition. Take care.